Phoenix Rise podcast. Claire here, your host. I'm so happy to have you with us on season 2. And we have got our very first guest on season 2, and we are hitting the runway like Fort Knox. We have got, honestly, like powerhouse after powerhouse after powerhouse. It's going to be freaking incredible. I cannot wait for this. So I was just talking to Hayley before we started. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute. But what I want to do as we grow into season 2 is we're going to start every episode where we have a guest with what our guest has to say about the millionaire movement that we're creating. So I'm just going to read what she's put. So I fucking love this. More money circulating in the lives of heart, soul, and purpose-driven humans is a win all day long. Money makes everything better when you're living in alignment. So let's be fully aligned and make it motherfucking rain. I love that. Oh my God. I read it and I was just like, my heart was just like, I love this woman.
Oh, I love that question. And I was just like, that was just the instant thing that I was just like, this is it. Like, so pure and beautiful. And I love what you're creating. And I'm honored to be part of it.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here, and thank you so much for like sharing your impact and your input on that. And before we like just start talking, because I can feel that's probably what's going to happen, like let's introduce you properly. So please do tell everyone who you are.
Absolutely. Okay, so my name is Hayley Bowler-Cooke, and I am the founder and CEO of Uplift Lifestyle Incorporated. So some people call me Uplift Lifestyle, but my name is Hayley. I'm the founder and CEO. My company now has grown in bigger ways where there are lots of moving pieces and lots of different parts. But the mission ultimately of what I'm here to bring is to bring you into your highest timeline, to bring you into a state of pure joy in your life, and know that that joy is creating natural reciprocity of your greatest desires. So my life's work is truly about you feeling so fucking light and lifted and in your body, in your energetics, in your highest state in all areas of your life to truly have what you desire. And the way in which we offer this within my company are so many different tiers and so many different ways. So I too have a podcast, Uplift Lifestyle Podcast, where I'm concerned with raising the collective vibration. I'm concerned with offering free resources, information, and really empowering the world to rise higher, to elevate their own standards, to become better versions of themselves. And I offer various modalities of doing that. I also am the best-selling author of Unfuckwithable. So my recently published book is called Unfuckwithable, and that is one of the pillars of our mission, actually, of our company's mission. And being unfuckwithable, ultimately, it's unique to each individual, but it's ultimately being your most powerful self and coming back to your truest divinity. And that power is something that cannot be fucked with. It is just who you fucking are, right? So Unfuckwithable is my book, and I really encourage, it was just divinely channeled through me. I encourage everyone to read this book. One page in, you will already feel your physiology change. You will feel your energy change. You will feel your life open up and the blinders come off and the veil is thin and you're like, holy shit, this is the life I want to live.
Okay, so I'm buying it right now.
Oh, it's extraordinary. And I can just tell by your energy, Claire, and your drive and your ambition and your aliveness and your boldness, like you will just be like, I'm home. And you will have new refinements and new upgrades by implementing the work, right? So I have my book, and I offer, so my family actually owns a retreat center. So we run retreats, ceremonies. We just started running festivals. Like, we are raising the vibration, and we are bringing as many high-level, soul-led human beings together. And then we have a variety of modalities that we work with. So my education is all in the human body, clinical kinesiology, understanding the brain. I did all of my studies in the science in an older paradigm, right? In university and in college. Yeah. And I bring that wisdom into what I do now in this new paradigm. So I'm working with hypnotherapy, right? Working within the neuroanatomy of the brain. I'm working with subconscious reprogramming. I'm bringing everything I've learned about the brain and I'm doing it in a very new paradigm way. So all of this life education and life's work has brought me into a position to ultimately work with the highest level professionals in their God's given gifts, right? So my clients are operating the highest level in the top tier. Now, it wasn't always this way. I used to work with just anyone. I would just work with anyone that was ready to work with me. And as I've gotten more refined and skilled in the various modalities that I do, energetic upgrading, physical upgrading, body optimization, neural reprogramming, and working in very high levels of the psyche and the actual physiological upgrading. So your body and system is regulated and optimized. As that's all refined, I've really honed in on my special humans, and they are absolutely the 1%, right? Mm-hmm. Professional athletes, professionals in corporate careers, leaders, entrepreneurs at very high levels and big levels. So that's who I, Hayley Bowler-Cooke, work with. But my company serves everyone. And that is like, makes me so happy that I can have podcast interviews, my book, that I can have. We have a facilitator that takes everyone into alignment, no matter where you're at on your journey. She'll bring you into alignment. Her name's Samantha, and she works for me and for the company. And we're offering retreats and ceremonies and festivals to bring everyone together. But me, myself, Hayley, to the top tier client level, it is a very, small percentage of the world. And I'm grateful that that's where I get to be, and that my mission gets to be spread far and wide through other ways and venues and portals in my company.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I'm just like, my mind is like, where am I going with this? Like, there's so much that you said there.
I feel I went on and on, but like, it's important to know, like, I have my company and I have my work, and then even just me, and I'm sure we'll chat about this, but I'm just like here to fucking live my best life. Like, I'm here to be joyful. I'm here to be in pleasure. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to do the things I love, have the hobbies that I enjoy. I'm in love with my life partner. Like, I have so many just good life things that I'm here for. And I guess your audience probably knows, I'll give you my human design and my astrology. Is that something you're into?
Yes.
Right. Cool.
Obviously.
Okay, I figured. I like to kind of also include that in my introduction. And that way, if anyone's listening that maybe resonates with any part of my human design or astrology, they might go, ooh, this could maybe really work for me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So to start off, let's do astrology. So I'm a Capricorn rising. Ooh. I'm a Taurus sun, so I'm a Taurus.
Nice.
And then my moon is in Libra, so I'm a Libra moon.
I totally see that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. So those are all my astrologies, and of course, there's way more things too.
Yeah.
And then in terms of human design, I'm a 6/2 self-projected projector.
Okay.
So yeah, I work in penetrative energy, right? The aura, the penetration of the projector, and then the 6 line of leadership. And
I'm a 3/6, yeah.
Are you a 6? Oh my God.
I love the 6.
Everyone listening is going to get insane value. Having 2 6s in the room, like, that's fucking wild.
And I'm a 3/6, a generator, emotional generator.
I knew you were a generator for sure.
Yeah. Like, feed me the energy.
I love it.
But my line 3 is the martyr, right? So it's basically like my whole life is I have to learn by my own fuck ups, basically. So I have to like go through all of the pain, fuck up myself, so that I learn and I teach others the right way to do it in the first place.
Oh, that's so valuable. You're giving people like, skip the line.
Yeah. I'll do the hard bit, and you can go.
Oh, I love it. And what's your zodiac?
I'm a double Virgo, so I'm Virgo sun, Virgo rising, and I'm a Leo moon. So.
Oh, okay. That Leo comes through for sure.
I know.
The grounded Virgo. So you just like a huge new moon for you, right? So you're in that big, really good.
Yeah. I'm very, like the generator and the Leo together is like.
But you can ground it. You can just ground it, right? Like and I get that as Capricorn and Taurus, that grounded energy. It's like so much, but it's like, we know what to do with it.
Oh my God, I'm actually noticing as well that we're both wearing like grounding color, like the neutral kind of.
Of course. And like even our offices, like it was funny because so I'm in my office right now and I have the whole house to myself. My partner's away for the day, or we have a puppy, my dog's away. So I'm like, I could be out because it's very bright out there, but I was like, I want to be in like my cozy, like flowers, office. Like I just feel that grounded vibe.
Yeah.
Even though my energy is often up here, I just ground it so well, as I can already feel you do too.
Yeah, I do exactly the same. Like I know we're talking about human design, but I just love this conversation. So we're just going to go with it for a minute. Because in my human design, like I forget what it's called, but like my place or something is a cave. And I was always really confused by that because I was like, I don't like want to be in a cave. Like, what does that even mean? But then it literally only clicked the other day, and I was like, quite often I will sit on my bed doing work. Fully clothed, fully dressed, just sat on my bed. Like
100%. 100%.
No reason, just like it's sometimes just where it flows, and I just go with it.
Oh, I love it. It's just like that comfort. And I feel like as such high level women, like we're operating in these very like big ways, big energy, big execution, big action, big just levels, right? Like the conversations, the levels are high. So anytime we can bring comfort to ourselves within that expansion, I feel like is so life-giving to the body, you know?
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. It's so true. So I want to I don't want to just make this a human design chat. Like, let's actually talk about like other stuff.
What we are specialized in.
Yeah, what we actually are here to talk about, as much as I love human design. But I was really intrigued. So one thing that you put, like when we were obviously chatting before, is about the balance between the masculine and the feminine. And I wanted to kind of pull in on this because I love this conversation so much. And I think it's something that is so polarizing in the industry as well. You know, you've got all of these kind of one side of the fence being like, you know, get in your feminine and, you know, fuck masculine, you don't need that shit. And then like, you know, no one needs the bro marketing, like all of these kind of terminologies. And then you've got the other side who are like, you know, you're not going to get jack shit done if you don't step into your masculine. And it's like, you know, that's all kind of woo woo and you need to be over here. And then there's like us kind of guys in the middle and we're like, you know, guys, like you can actually have the best of both worlds. Like it's not either or. Like, and I really want to touch in on the word that you said, balance, because I find balance a really interesting word. And quite often I actually don't like the word balance. And I'll quite often say like, fuck balance, like aim for harmony.
Because harmony.
Harmony is just like, it's so much more like nourishing. And it's just like, I find it more abundant.
Yes.
It's like, you know, it's like kind of let's be excessive. Let's like have as much as we want of all of it rather than trying to kind of limit it. But anyway, I would love you to dive into like, to the masculine and the feminine and kind of how that shows up for you in your world.
Totally. So I'm with you too. I love the word harmony. I always say divine femme, divine masc, harmonization. And I think a lot of people in my world, I talk a lot about standards. So I talk about standards versus boundaries. There's standards, which are very like high vibrational and like high level. And then boundaries feel very like protective. Yes. I feel like it's the same with balance and harmonization. The harmonization is like this evolved version of balance, just like standards are an evolved version of boundaries. I love that. And I feel like they both serve their purpose though. Cause like ultimately there's times in our lives where things are way off and we have to restore balance before we can harmonize. Yeah. Or shit's not grounded and we need to implement a boundary before we can implement a standard. So I feel like it's all good. It's just about when and where and why you're implementing what you're implementing. I'd say the higher level you get, the more often you're in the realm of standards and harmonization. But we all have moments where we need to be kind of hard and fast with our boundaries or hard and fast with our balance. So I just want to add that. So in terms of, do you love it? Okay, good.
Yeah. It might use me.
Yeah, it's just these little refinements, right? Like I find on the level I'm on, the clients I work with, like it's these tiny little nuances, like it's these tiny little refinements. And I mean, ultimately I could, just like I'm sure you work with very high level clients as well. I could, you know, teach on certain things because I know them, but what am I really like lit up about is probably the more deep, intricate nuances. So that's where I live and play, and I can still have, you know, a basic conversation about balance and boundaries if you want to have that. But I know we're not here for that, so we're going to go deeper. So
dive in.
We're going to dive in. We're going to go right to the penetrative core. So here's what I want to say about this harmonization. The first thing I want to mention is I am probably one of the most masculine people I know, and I'm probably one of the most feminine people I know. I'm able to really play within this huge expanded container of, let's say, masculines over here on my left, feminines over here on my right. However, it would probably be opposite if we're thinking yin yang. But say I'm in this full expressed version of opposites, I make that as big as I can so that there's so much room to play in the middle. And I'm always creating containment, structure, and systems that allow me to live my more feminine life, which is more financial freedom, more time freedom, more maternal support to others, more service and devotion, more impact and influence. Those are all very feminine desires, right? To change the culture, to change the world, to create a new earth. Those feminine desires cannot be reached, at least not in my life, because I'm meant to be a leader. Some people aren't, and they can have their own self-actualization behind the scenes. But I know I'm meant to be more of an in front of the scenes type of human. So in order to nurture those desires within and my desires of the world and the universe that I want to create, I need to have that masculine structure and system, right? So the masculine containment of that is very much strategic. It's very much, okay, I'm going to create time and space for my divine desires of my feminine to be experienced and to be shared and served to the world and to receive in big ways. So it's like this beautiful flow of inhale, I receive, exhale, I give. And it's like this yin yang, feminine, masculine, natural process of nourishing myself and nourishing the world and being like, if you think of like the inner child, inner parent model, it's like that. It's like, how can my inner child play and give what she wants to give? And how can my parent ensure that that is happening in a really powerful way? So I'm always playing in that land of harmonization between all sides. So like when it's time to get shit done, I'm like dialed in. I'm like, here's the things I need to do, or I'll have my assistant do them, or I'll do them, or we're working to get shit done. And I'm like, let's go. Like, let's fucking move. Like, I'm very about that. And then I have time. I'm like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. I've done enough for the morning. I'm going to go eat, and I'm going to go lie on the couch. I'm going to go massage myself. I'm going to go have some midday sex or cuddles, whatever. I'm going to go on a walk outside. Like my masculine is always guiding my feminine. So my masculine will be like, okay, time to make a delicious meal. That's my masculine cooking. My feminine is eating, you know? If I want to go experience nature, my masculine's walking me to the trees. My feminine's like opening up, like, oh my God, I'm in the trees, you know, I'm bathing in the trees. So it's like my masculine works for my feminine and they work together. And I can always sense, like I have that high level attunement within myself of like, if I'm leaning a little too far one way, to be honest, and I'm sure you're the same as me. I think a lot of really high level driven women they probably lean more masculine. I definitely lean more masculine. So I'm not ever really like, oh, I've been in my feminine too long. That doesn't really happen. I'll go have a bath and I'll like massage myself and like drink a glass of wine, and I'll be in there for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking inspired. I want to take action. I want to do things like I want to call this person. I want to talk to my client. I want to post this. I want to do this email. Like I want this collab. Like I'm very like, I get charged so quick, you know?
Same. Oh my God. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So is that kind of speaking to your question? Does that kind of help?
I love that so much. And do you know where that's leading me to? So like, I'm just going to follow like the downloads with this, because something that came up in my world recently, right, and you've probably had this as well, is I've maybe it's my line 6, maybe it's my Virgo, maybe it's just a mix of all of it. But a lot of my life, I have always loved work, right? I've always loved work, because I don't see my work as work. It's just my life's purpose. I'm just like literally living my best life, like doing what I love. Like, and so what came up was I found myself, I won't say who, but I found myself in a circle where I was getting quite shamed for the amount that I work. And for me, and I think I did a post on this, it's very much like the people that shame people for working so hard are the people that see work as a thing to escape, right? They see work as like, this thing that they have to do to make some money and to get to the weekend. And it's like, that's not our world, right? That's not for people like us, and probably for the people listening. When you're living your life's purpose, it doesn't feel like work. And I want to bring this to what you were saying about the balance of the masculine and the feminine, because it did have me questioning. And I was like, do I work too much? And then I was like, I know I'm in my masculine a lot, but it's those moments where, like you said, you allow yourself to take your foot off the gas. You allow yourself to, have the bath, or like for me, I do things like go on a trampoline, right? Or like I like to be a bit kind of silly and goofy and that kind of stuff. And it's like you just go and have fun and do whatever. But very quickly, creativity will drop in. And it's like, okay, let's go. Let's go back to it. And it's not in that sense of, I need to go back and grind. It's like, I'm feeling so lit up about doing this. I need to go and do it.
Yes, exactly. And that's how you're in your life's purpose. I actually just did an Instagram reel on this today. It's like how to know if you're in your purpose. And it's like, literally, I always use the language of life-giving. Is it life-giving, right? Versus extractive. And I think even when you fucking love what you do, because I literally just recorded a podcast with a friend on slow living. So I'm here for that. I'm fucking here for that. But the thing is, different people have different barometers within their own system. Me, I'm like, I was given the gift of fucking energy. Yeah. And like, I feel like source gives me insight, messages. I'm here to serve the world. So why would I don't get me wrong, sometimes I will kind of pull that back to channel it or refine it more powerfully. I will make edits, I will refine, but I'm never like stopping life. Like life wants to fucking grow. Like life wants to give life. So I always am in that energy of like, does this feel life-giving? And oftentimes, if you go past your barometer into extraction, as an attuned, self-aware, embodied person, you'll feel that. You'll feel like I'm extracted, right? Like we all do it, even if it's something we love. Like I could be in session. So I know this, for instance, with clients, my sessions are 60 minutes, but sometimes they go 90 minutes. And sometimes they want to go longer because there's so much. But I know, even though I fucking love what I do and it's life-giving, it starts to get to this point of, okay, like I can feel my heart.
Your energies run out.
Yes, I feel like the heaviness, right? And it's like, that's not how I want to do my life's work. I want it to be regenerative. I want it to be life-giving, and I want it to be renewing all the time. So you have to be aware of like, what's your barometer? Because I have friends, clients, and people, colleagues in this industry and in this work of service providers and facilitators, leaders, speakers, who their level is way lower than mine. They'll do maybe one thing a day, and they're like, where I'm like, I do the one, I'm like, oh, I want more. And I give. And then I have to consciously be like, okay, let's check in. Is it time for a lunch break? Is it time for a nap? Is it time for a walk? Is it time for, I love what you said, Claire, about something silly and goofy and fun. Is it time for something fucking unrelated to doing my life's purpose work? And can I just go laugh somewhere? Can I go have a drink? Can I go out with friends? Whatever. I'm very, very intentional to make sure it doesn't get past the life-giving point and into the extraction point. But I would never, ever let anyone tell me what that point is for me. I would want to know for myself, right? So it sounds like you were maybe in a container where it was very highly feminine, and people have their own reasons for being in that. And I think that's amazing. But to tell someone that their levels are wrong isn't really respecting the nuance of who we all are and how individual we are, and our energy centers and our ability to give energy, serve, and share our gifts. So for anyone listening, I would just really like get into your own body, get into your own attunement of self, of what feels life-giving. Does it feel life-giving to, maybe it's 11 p.m. and you're like, fuck it, I want to go do this email. Do it. Maybe it's like 2 p.m. and you're like, I'm done. I'm fucking done for the day. I'm going on a vacation. I'm going to the spa for the rest of the day. Amazing. I do both of those things all the time. Like I always like an internal checkpoint with myself. You know?
It's allowing ourselves to do it as well, right? Because I think we get so caught up in the, I have to do this today. And especially if we've maybe given ourselves a deadline and we're like, okay, this needs to be done today, or it's on the to-do list or something. And then we kind of feel like, I've committed to this, so I have to do it. And I guess you've got both sides, because obviously if you truly commit to something, you want to follow through, because then you're teaching yourself to trust yourself. But on the other side of that, you shouldn't feel restricted by your own made up rules that you just put in place as well. So it's like, is it actually serving you to do it today, or are you forcing it? And I always say this, so often, if you're kind of sat behind your MacBook for 3 hours trying to figure out what to post, like, get the fuck out of your head. Like, go and do something that isn't your life's work. Like we were saying, go and do something fun, like, completely different. And I guarantee you, within probably, well, for me, probably like 5 minutes, but like, whatever the span is for other people, like half an hour max, you're gonna get a download. You're totally going to get that creativity is going to channel through, because you're not forcing it. And then the channel's open, right?
100%. And I always speak of, and that word force is so good. Like, does it feel forceful? If so, stop what the fuck you're doing right now and go do something opposite. If you're forcing yourself to relax when you want to work, stop. If you're forcing yourself to work when you want to relax, stop. I always speak to the soul, like this, everyone has their own language and their own relationship with source and God and the universe. I personally connect to all of it. I channel all of them because they are all sharing the same message, but there's actually quite unique beings that I work with, and they actually are very different in the same way. So I kind of work with all of them for myself personally, and absolutely for my clients, because I have clients that are Christian, I have clients that are Buddhist, I have clients that don't believe in any of it. It's like all the things. So I'm always just opening, but let's just use the word soul to be general. Your soul has like a mission, right? Like the creator, whoever you believe that to be, even if that's just yourself, gives you a mission. Your human works for the soul. The human is like an employee of the soul. And the soul is required to listen to the employees. Again, we're using very basic language. The human body is required to listen to the body's needs, wants, desires, requests, so that you can have the most optimized human experience. The soul's experience through the human body is I'm trying to word this well. Sometimes my soul wants to do more than my human can in a day.
Yes.
Right? So I have to be an advocate for my human to be like, I need to nourish myself. Like, you have to honor the desires of the human and the needs of the human so that there's longevity of your soul's mission. Now, we see this if you think of athletes whose careers are over too early, if you think of musicians who unfortunately don't make it past their 27th birthday, for example, their soul mission came and it did what it needed to do in this timeline, but the longevity wasn't there because of maybe a lack of synergy between the human and the soul. So the soul mission is really big and it's guided by source, but you are a human being. And whether you are traveling in astral planes all day, connected to the intergalactics all day, which I get because I do that too. No matter how quantum you believe you are, you're a fucking human. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you shit, you pee, like you're a fucking human. So you cannot deny the needs and the desires of your body,
Oh, yeah, I love that so much. And what you were saying about the human is kind of like the employees. It's like, if the employees aren't satisfied at work, they're not going to do anything, right? They're going to like flat out refuse. And that's when we kind of get that block. And it's like, nope, we ain't doing shit here.
That's it. They do a strike, right? The body goes on strike. The employees go on strike. They're like, nope. And I've personally felt this a million times in my own body. I've definitely felt, and I see it in clients, like they're not listening to their body. They're not eating well. They're not sleeping well. Like and again, my education was all in the human body. So I'm grateful I have a very good barometer of that. But even I have many times just been like, shut up, you're fine. We got to do this. We got to get this out. And it's like, and the more aligned you are, this is one of my quotes, the more aligned you are, the more you crave alignment. So if your body is like really aligned and you're someone listening to this podcast and you're maybe someone working with Claire, or you're working with a high level mentor, or you're working in like the optimized states of your life, you're pretty fucking aligned. So if you go out of alignment, your body will shut you down quick. So it will redirect you a lot faster than someone who's not giving a fuck, who's not in their alignment, someone who's just floating through life. They can go out of alignment all the time. They don't even notice. I often use the example of, and I have a whole chapter in my book about this. If you're in your lane and you're a Formula One driver and you're fucking going, if you slightly swerve, like, you fucking are redirected. But if you're driving and, you're just driving on a back road, you're kind of in a slower lane, if you kind of veer, it's like, ooh, no problem. But when you're in alignment and you're operating like that Formula One driver, any misalignment, you're going to get fucking redirected. So the more aligned I get, the more I crave alignment. Same as my clients, same as everyone here listening. If you're hyper aligned, your body will fucking communicate to you when you're out of alignment, and your results will communicate to you when you're out of alignment, and your relationships will communicate to you when you're out of alignment, because ultimately the soul and the human are in a union and they want to fucking thrive. Longevity, highest level. So if one of those things is off, you're going to get redirected.
Oh my God, I love that so much, because I say this all the time. Like, it still surprises me, and I don't know why, but it still surprises me, like, how many even high level leaders in the industry don't know what their purpose is. They still don't know. They're just doing shit to make money, to have some kind of status that they feel like they desire or they deserve, or whatever they want to tell themselves. And they don't know what their purpose is. And it's like you said, how are you going to know if you're on the right track or not? Because you don't even know what you're here to do. You don't even know when it feels good because it actually feels good, or when it feels good because you're just seeing money in the bank. And it's like differentiating, right, between tangible results and intangible results. I like to talk about this a lot, because I think so many people in general are so fixated on the tangible, past myself included, absolutely. And I think that in itself is a whole learning process, right? To release the 3D and to absolutely love it 100%, but realize that we need to focus on the intangible to create the tangible, to make it mean anything, right, in the first place. Otherwise it's just fucking, it's a number on a screen, doesn't even mean anything. So what was my point? I went on tangent there.
I feel this time on earth, there's been a lot of light workers, there's been a lot of healers, there's been a lot of well-intentioned, high-level, purpose-driven human beings who haven't really got their moment. And that moment is now. So many years of, like, the last couple of years, so much restructuring collectively has been happening. And now, if you're really operating from a place of soul and heart-led purpose, and of course you have high standards, and I would never, ever, ever, ever encourage anyone to lower their standards in terms of finances, lifestyle, etc. You fucking deserve anything you desire. But when you're leading from a place of, this is my life's mission, I'm devoted no matter what. Like, I will do this all the live long day. I'll do this for fucking free. This is my life's work. When you're operating from that space of devotion, you will see the results. But I can respect many people who haven't seen those results yet. I want to tell them, please keep going, because the collective is catching up. The veil is thinning. It's becoming very clear what's inauthentic and not true. It's becoming very clear who's embodied, who's not. And all of this information is coming up to the surface, and it's coming out in very hard and dark ways for some people. But if you've been just on your path, like fucking going, you're proud of yourself, you're like, I know what I'm doing, I'm living my mission, like I'm doing my soul's work, like you've been in that integrity and that devotion, please do not give up. Don't let maybe your dream results haven't landed yet, don't let that tell you that you're not made for this. We're just seeing, well, I say we because now I'm channeling. So there's now new people are coming all the time. It's like they're coming through me, right? But it's like we want to see source, all the energies that are here to support you want to see your devotion, and they want to see your truest integrity. And yeah, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. What is your truth? What is your mission? What is your purpose? Understand that, live that, serve that. And yes, you are fucking worthy and deserving. There's no question of being well compensated for that and really well supported. And just like we said with energy levels, right? Everyone's receiving standards are different as well. So I think that a lot of that, money focused within certain industries was a big thing. And that was, of course, triggering for a lot of people, but I think really healing for a lot of people as well. And it's like we're always upgrading and evolving as a collective. And some of that had to be shown as clear. So if that drove you to make more money, or if that drove you to, want better for yourself and know you deserve better, that's fucking awesome. But to be this whole, complete human, so that when you're literally on your deathbed, you're like, wow, I am proud of who I was and proud of how I lived. I would be focusing a lot more on your daily service and your daily devotion in synergy of, I deserve to be well fucking supported, knowing when to put the foot down of like, this isn't enough. This isn't enough. This, just scraping by isn't enough. This, however many thousands a month isn't enough. This 6 figures a month isn't enough. Whatever your truth is, you have to honor that in synergy, in alignment with, you're here to do your fucking life's work, whether you're paid or not. And I think that that's a harsh reality for a lot of people who aren't in their truth. But if you're in your truth and your service, like, fuck, I'm here to be multimillionaire all day long, but I'll also do this shit for free because I'm here to live my life.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that so much. And I don't want to take too much of your time now, but I just want to touch on one thing that came up for me there, because like you said, this last couple of years, the changes are happening really quickly, and it just brought something up for me that I want to touch on because I just feel like it needs to child. So one of my businesses is a crystal business, and when I started that back in lockdown, like in 2020, it was very new industry to me. I just had my spiritual awakenings, and I'd been corporate before that, right? So this was like a very new world, and fucking loved it. It like absolutely flew, market leader, great. But what I found was that as a very ambitious woman in that industry, it was like the shame that I got like reflected and projected onto me was huge. And it's basically 360'd, and now I'm actually franchising that business for this whole reason, right? What we're saying, to empower other women, because there's such a stigma around being spiritual and successful, around having like money and being, awake, or whatever you want to call it. And it's like, that for me was a huge, I don't know if hurdle is the right word, but it's, again, line free, right? It's something that I had to go through to come out the other side, to really be able to stand in my power and stand up for what I believe. And it can be really hard. And I say this to people listening, it can be really hard when your purpose is to change a narrative, is to change, a collective's way of thinking, is to change society's perceptions of things. It can be a hard mission because, the law of polarity, if you want that kind of movement, that kind of success, it's going to come obviously with equal measure in the opposite regard, right? But so I just want to really emphasize for people listening, if you feel that your mission is something that is hard, it's polarizing, it's triggering for a lot of people because you're going against the status quo, you're going against the norm, just know that on the other side of that is the change, right? It is the transformation, because it takes that one brave person to be able to stand up and start the change, to start, the ripple effect that turns into the tidal wave. But if we're not brave enough in our kind of mission that we've been given, then it's like we're doing a disservice to our soul and to the people that we're here to help, because we're not doing what we're here to do, right?
100%. And the whole desire piece, like if you have a larger, like I personally have a very high standard of lifestyle, wealth, living. Okay. And I love so many people who don't. I respect and love that. They don't have the same standard. But on my standard, I trust that though the art of receiving, the receptivity of that, it matches my level of service. So it's like I'm devoted to serve and give, and I'm also existing within the dimension of openness, which money and energy and all exchange and receiving is all the same. I'm aware that, and I have a whole chapter in my book called The New Paradigm of Wealth. And that whole new paradigm of wealth is about honoring like the realities and the factors that humans are experiencing, and also honoring the fact that it is all energy, and also honoring the fact that yes, it's all energy. And, you know, I got to pay for my house, got to pay for my mortgage, right? So it's like, it's very nuanced, it's very psychedelic, but it's also very grounded. And I think the more we can realize that there's room for all of it, and the culture's changing, not by saying all money's wrong, just give your energy, but being like, money's amazing, and so is trade and energy. And in this lifetime, you know, I have a mortgage that requires physical dollars in the bank account. And I'm also here to expand my consciousness around how that's all possible and open new portals. Like, I think we have to really, it's not like right, none of it is right or wrong. Even the people that are very focused, you know, the people that are very focused on just like money, raise your prices, who have maybe no concern for their clients' results or experience. Hey, they're serving a purpose in some way because it's helping certain people rise financially. And then the people who are just like, I'm just going to give my love for free, they're serving people in their own way. And that's amazing. But we need to understand where we fall and know what's right for us. Same as the energy thing, right? Like, what is actually life-giving to you? What's life-giving to me is earning a lot more money than other people doing similar work as me. And that's them, and this is me. So you have to know where you land and what your true desires are. And those desires really are, you know, it's an invisible string pulling you to what you're made for. Like, anytime I get a desire, it's what you're made for. It's like you get a desire, you want more. It's like, oh, I want to take a private jet from my backyard to a public speaking event for thousands of people where everyone knows my name and everyone's reading my book and everyone's excited to see me. But then I want a private jet right back to my house so that I can have like dinner and cuddles with my family. That's what I want. That requires however many millions and millions of dollars. And the drive is that I want thousands of people out there screaming my name in line to talk to me, to ask some questions, to sign my book, right? So the desire is always guiding the action and the service, right?
Oh my God, I love that so much. And I just want to end on, you're saying that and I'm like, yeah, because desire is the undercurrent of motivation, right? And, you know, if any of you guys listening are ever like, you know, I can't be bothered today, it's like, where's the desire? What is the desire? Because that will pull you. You know,
you gotta want it.
Yeah, like if you don't want it enough, it's never going to happen. But you have to stop lying to yourself about what it is that you want in the first place. So whatever that is to you, just open yourself up to it, because if you desire it, you're meant for it. Like you said, I absolutely love that. And I use that quite a lot as well. And that's so beautifully said, because it can't be wrong if it feels right.
Yeah, totally. And then on the flip side, I know we could talk forever, but on the flip side, I think that, and it sounds like we work with different types of people, but it sounds like you work in the coaching industry mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the coaching industry, and I have a few clients in the coaching industry, it's not my specific niche, but one thing I notice is some people will just be like, set yourself a goal for your first 10K month or your first 20K month. If that doesn't mean anything to you, you will not achieve it. period. But if it means like, if you're able to be like, oh my God, my first $10,000 month in my business would be so enriching, and like it would allow me to do XYZ in my material world. It would allow me to buy this for myself, buy this for my partner, buy this for my child. Like it would allow me to just pay my bills with so much ease. Like if you can tangibly, materially, groundedly create that desire, $10,000 is the easiest thing to manifest a month. Like there's no fucking doubt about that. But you have to, so it's like, it's very clear that like, if you want to be a multimillionaire and you know why you want to be a multimillionaire, and that's just the truest fucking thing for you, you will be a multimillionaire, period. Because you will be motivated. 100%.
Yeah, 100% agree. And the universe, or whatever you want to call it, it will give you the opportunities, but obviously it's up to your human to say yes to them. So you've got to
all day. We'll leave it here, but I love being here with you and chatting.
Oh my God, this was such a good conversation. Thank you so much for your time. Hayley, where can everyone find you? We'll obviously put it in the show notes, but just so everyone can hear.
Amazing. Okay, so you can find me. I'm most active on Instagram, and it's kind of like my portal for everything. So you'll see me on there. You'll see my book on there, my podcast. You'll see Samantha, who works for me and does alignment calls. There's so many things. Again, the company's big, so there's a lot that's happening. But my Instagram handle, we'll tag it, is at @uplift_lifestyle. So go to my Instagram. My website is upliftlifestyle.ca. So we'll tag that as well. And that's, I think, where I would send people. And my podcast, Uplift Lifestyle Podcast, I would just send them there. And although there's a lot of moving pieces right now, I actually am the one who checks all my Instagram DMs. So if you feel inspired, activated, please tag both Claire and I and say, I listened to this podcast, I fucking loved it. Share it with anyone who may need it. Share it to your Instagram, share it to your everywhere, and tag us. But I'm also very available and excited to hear personally from people. If someone's like, hey, I really love that, what would you have for me resource-wise? I could send you to a free podcast. I could send you to a program. I could send you to a session with Samantha, work with myself, whatever is needed. My book. Oh my God, let's link my book. Everyone needs my book.
Oh, absolutely. We've got the link. Yes.
Everyone needs to read Unfuckwithable, because it is like the God's gift to earth. And I'm just blessed that source let it come through me like that. I'm so grateful that I was able to be the channel for it, because it's fucking potent. But yeah, so those are the main places. And I just love, I love this. And then obviously my audience who will be listening to this, Claire, where can they find you? Just because.
Oh, okay.
I want my people to send this to us.
So I'm Instagram as well. So at Claire Garner Official. That's definitely the best place to go find me. Again, I check all my DMs personally. So if you resonate with anything, if you want any insight, any more, any goodness, just hit me up and I will be all ears. Oh, this was so much fun. Thank you so much, Hayley. And this was just amazing. And thank you for being our first guest on season 2.
I'm honored. Thank you, Claire. And thank you to all of the listeners of Phoenix Rising. I meant to tell you, I love that name. It's the 3-line.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, babe. And I will speak to you soon.
Thank you. Mwah.